Have you ever felt like you're standing just outside your own life? Like there's a version of you that's more capable, more focused, more alive, and no matter what you do, you can't quite reach them? What if I told you that the reason you keep falling short of your potential has almost nothing to do with motivation, discipline, or willpower? And by the end of this video, you'll understand why some people spend years trying harder without ever truly changing their lives. If you're interested in psychology, neuroscience, and understanding the hidden forces that shape human behavior, take a second to subscribe and leave a like. It helps the channel, and it tells me to create more content like this. You've had the moments of clarity, the mornings where you woke up and thought, this time is different. You made the plan, you felt the resolve, and for a while, maybe a few days, maybe even a few weeks, it held. Then something shifted. Not dramatically, not all at once, just quietly, the way a fire dies when no one is watching, and you found yourself back where you started, maybe a little more tired, maybe carrying one more reason to doubt yourself. If that sounds familiar, I want you to stay with me for the next few minutes, because what I'm about to share isn't another system, and it's not a motivation speech. It's something that might explain why, despite everything you've tried, the needle barely seems to move. Here's the question. Nobody asks, what if the problem isn't effort? What if it isn't discipline or focus or the right morning routine? What if the obstacle isn't even visible? Think about someone you might know, maybe it's you. Intelligent, capable, genuinely aware of what needs to change. They've read the books, they understand the concepts. They know what a healthy routine looks like, what financial discipline requires, what a finished creative project would take. They can describe the life they want with remarkable clarity. And yet, year after year, the same patterns repeat, the same projects abandoned at the same stage, the same relationships ending for similar reasons, the same drift back to familiar ground, no matter how far they manage to walk from it. The conventional explanation is that they lack willpower or motivation, or maybe they just don't want it badly enough. These explanations feel honest, they feel like self-awareness, but there's a deeper possibility, one that changes everything when you actually understand it. But before we talk about where these invisible patterns come from, there's something even stranger. Imagine waking up tomorrow with unlimited motivation, no procrastination, no excuses, no lack of energy. Would your life permanently change? Most people assume the answer is yes. Psychology suggests otherwise. In 1960, a plastic surgeon named Maxwell Maltz noticed something that disturbed him. His patients would come in, undergo surgery, have their appearance transformed, and then go home and behave exactly as they had before. A woman who had spent years hiding her face continued to hide it, even after the thing she was hiding was gone. A man who believed his scar made him repulsive still moved through the world as if disfigured. Maltz spent years trying to understand why external change so rarely produced internal change, and what he discovered became one of the most important insights in all of behavioral psychology. He called it the self-image, and it doesn't work the way most people think. Your self-image isn't your confidence level or your self-esteem or the things you tell yourself in the mirror. It operates deeper than that. It's a composite of assumptions your nervous system has built over years about what kind of person you are, what you're capable of, what you deserve, what someone like you does when things get hard, and it functions like a thermostat. No matter how high you push the temperature, it pulls the room back to its preset setting. This is why the person who starts the diet says 3 weeks later, I just can't eat like that. It's not me. They're not talking about the food. They're telling you something about their identity. The behavior felt foreign, and the nervous system is exquisitely designed to return you to what feels familiar. Here's what makes this so quietly devastating. The self-image doesn't announce itself. It doesn't say, I won't let you do this. It works through something far subtler, a vague sense of resistance when you sit down to work on something that matters. A tiredness that appears at the exact moment you're about to push further than you pushed before. A voice that generates perfectly reasonable explanations for why now isn't the right time, why you need a little more preparation, why the conditions aren't quite right yet. You've felt that voice. Most people have learned to call it laziness or fear or self-sabotage, but it has a more precise name: identity protection. The system isn't trying to destroy you, it's trying to maintain coherence. It's preserving the only self it knows. Now here's the part that might sit uncomfortably. That self-image was built. It wasn't handed down from the universe as a fixed truth about who you are. It was constructed piece by piece through experience, through what happened to you, through what people reflected back at you, through the conclusions a younger version of you drew from a world that was often confusing and sometimes unkind. A child who struggles to read and receives criticism doesn't just learn that reading is hard, they learn something about themselves. A teenager who is told repeatedly that they're scattered, that they're too sensitive, that they're not quite enough, they don't discard that information, they file it. And over time, with enough repetition, it stops feeling like feedback and starts feeling like fact. The tragedy is that these conclusions were often accurate interpretations of a specific moment, and then they calcified into permanent identity. The belief that once protected you becomes the ceiling that limits you. So what happens when you try to change? When you set the goal, make the commitment, take the first steps? You're not just learning new behavior, you're threatening a system that has been reinforcing itself for years, possibly decades. The goal says, move forward. The identity says, this is not who we are. And in that conflict, the identity wins. Almost every time. Not because you're weak, because the system is older, deeper, and faster than your conscious intentions. This is why motivation fades. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are temporary. The self-image is a structure, and structures don't yield to feelings. Think about the last time you attended something that genuinely inspired you. A talk, a book, a conversation that left you feeling like transformation was not just possible but imminent. You walked away different. And then, slowly, over days or weeks, the ordinary texture of your life reasserted itself. The insight faded, the behavior drifted back, and you were left with a faint confusion about where that feeling went. The answer is that the feeling changed your emotional state. It did nothing to your identity. The thermostat pulled the room back to its setting. Now here's where this gets interesting, and where it starts to point towards something other than despair. If the self-image was built through repetition, through experience, through the accumulation of evidence about who you are, then it can be rebuilt the same way, not through positive thinking, not through willpower or affirmations that contradict what you actually believe about yourself, but through something more precise and more demanding, the systematic generation of new evidence. Because the mind doesn't accept a new identity simply because you've decided to have one. It requires proof, behavioral proof, specific repeated actions that gradually rewrite what the nervous system believes is true about you. This is the invisible architecture beneath every lasting transformation you've ever witnessed in someone else. The person who finally got serious about their health and never looked back. The person who built the business after years of stopping and starting. The person who seems to have fundamentally changed, not just their habits, but something deeper, something about who they are. They didn't find more discipline. They didn't unlock some motivational source you don't have access to. Something shifted in the picture they held of themselves. And when that picture changed, behavior followed, not through force, but because it now felt natural, consistent, like being finally who they actually were. You may have spent years believing the obstacle was your circumstances, your past, your level of motivation, or some fundamental flaw in your character. What if none of that was the real explanation? What if the force shaping your life isn't any of those things? What if it's simply the way you see yourself? And if identity can be built, then it can be rebuilt. But almost nobody understands the process that makes that possible. Most people spend years fighting their behavior while never addressing the system underneath it. This video explains the concept. The blueprint gives you the step-by-step process. If you want the complete implementation system, the link is below.